Hi, welcome back. I know it's been a really long time since my last video, but I have this really debilitating illness. It's known as perfectionism and my whole family has it. So I found lots of reasons and excuses not to make the next video, but I thought I'm just going to bite the bullet today. It's a beautiful Sunday. I'm going to sit outside. So there's going to be a few flies, so you'll have to excuse me for that. But we're talking about B vitamins today, and last video was about vitamin C, and if you missed that you can follow the link through YouTube. But today we're talking about B1, B2 and B3, otherwise known as thiamine, riboflavin and niacin, which you would know about if you ever saw a Nutrigrain ad. We're also talking about B5, B6 and B7. We're not talking about folate or B12 today, predominantly because that is a really big topic, so I'm going to save that for another time. So B vitamins are water soluble like vitamin C, which means when you cook with water you actually encourage the B vitamins to be leached from the food, which is great if you're having soup, but if not, you need to be conscious of how you cook your food with B vitamins in them. So steaming is actually a really good way of retaining those nutrients. Now, thiamine, riboflavin and niacin, as well as B5 and B7, are all really important in helping us take energy from food. So they actually act as a catalyst in the reaction that breaks down our food. So we're talking about our fats, our carbs and our proteins. Without these B vitamins, the reactions can't occur. Now, niacin is a really big one, vitamin B3, because it's pretty important in the metabolism of glucose, so that's the maintenance of your blood sugar levels, as well as the metabolism of fats, as well as the metabolism of alcohol. So because those are metabolized in your liver, that's the glucose, the fat and the alcohol, it's a very key nutrient to your liver, and it's something that your liver uses a lot of. B5 is also really important in the making of new fats, as well as making hormones, red blood cells, as well as nerve cell communication, and it's really important for brain cognition as well. Now, vitamin B6 is really important in the formation of proteins. It catalyzes the reaction that helps break down the proteins in our food, breaks them down into their basic structural unit, which is amino acids, and then helps restructure them into the proteins that are found within our body. There's a bit of a belief out there that taking a B6 supplement will help with your muscle strength. There's not actually any evidence to suggest that does occur. In fact, if you take too much B6, and that's about 40 times the recommended dietary intake, you can cause irreversible neurological damage. So you know, if you're in that school of thought where I'm going to take this B6 supplement and get stronger or bigger, there is a risk there to your health. So where do we find our B vitamins? Well, vitamin B1, or thiamine, it's found in moderate amounts in foods. However, it's found mostly and in highest concentrations in whole grains and whole grain products. However, the act of processing, or turning a grain into, say, a flour, does strip thiamine from the product. So manufacturers are required by law to replace thiamine. It's not as good as the real thing, but it does stop the population from becoming deficient. Now, riboflavin, or vitamin B2, comes from dairy products. So that's your milk, your cheeses and your yogurts, and variations of those. Now, it's quite stable to heat, which is a good thing. However, it's unstable to UV light. So if you're purchasing a milk, say, that doesn't come in a carton, go for a product that's at the back of the shelf and hasn't been exposed to UV light at all, because you'll find it has a lower amount of riboflavin in it. Now, if you're lactose intolerant or you're a vegan, you can get riboflavin from dark leafy greens. So that's your spinach, your broccoli, your kale, your asparagus, silver beet, those kind of things do have B2 in them as well. Now, niacin, the general rule with niacin is if you are eating enough protein, you're getting enough niacin in your diet. Niacin is found pretty much in protein-rich foods, so meat, chicken, fish, eggs, soybeans, peanuts, some legumes, and it's quite stable to heat, which is good news. Now, B5 is also quite widely spread in foods. It's in meat products, it's in vegetable products, it's in whole grain products. However, it is quite susceptible to losses in processing. So that's the process of canning, that's the process of freezing. So to get your adequate B5, you need to be eating the freshest version of that food. Now, vitamin B6 is found in pretty much animal products. So we're talking about meat, chicken, fish, eggs. And there are small amounts in fruit and vegetables. Now, vitamin B7 is found in things like egg yolk, liver, soybeans, whole grains. So that's quite widely spread as well. And with B7 actually, the gastrointestinal tract, our digestive system, also produces a little bit of vitamin B7. Not enough to meet our daily needs, but it's interesting to know that healthy bacteria in our gut is important to B7 production. So what are some of the signs of deficiency? Well, because we need our B vitamins to take energy from food, the key sign is a lack of energy, fatigue, lethargy, also depression, mental confusion, difficulty concentrating, and difficulty retaining things, so our memory struggles as well. Skin rash is a sign of deficiency, as is cracking and inflammation around the mouth, and ulcers inside the mouth are a very common deficiency sign for B vitamins. Digestive upset is also one. Who's prone to a B vitamin deficiency? Well, those who don't eat well enough or don't eat enough food at all. So those who are homeless or who perhaps have an eating disorder. Also those people whose diet is pretty much all processed food. You know, those people who are on a junk food diet may be prone to vitamin B deficiency. Alcoholics is a big one, and those who party regularly, even though they may not be classified as alcoholics, also find themselves quite deficient in B vitamins. Other people susceptible are those who have difficulty taking up nutrients. So they may have some kind of digestive disorder, IBS, Crohn's. They may have a severe allergy or an intolerance which causes inflammation in the gut, and that impairs the uptake of nutrients. So that reduces the amount of B vitamins that are coming into the body, even though you might be getting enough in your diet. Just going back to alcohol and smoking and drugs. Now, drugs includes the illegal stuff. It also includes prescription stuff, and it includes the stuff you can just get over the counter like Panadol and Nurofen. Now, your liver churns through B vitamins to metabolize these and get them out of the body. So when you consume a lot of alcohol, or you take regular painkillers, or you're a regular substance user, or you smoke a lot, what you'll find is that you may become vitamin B deficient, because not only are you using up more B vitamins than you normally would in your body, things like alcohol and things like oral medications impair the uptake of nutrients as well. So it's a double-edged sword. So getting B vitamins into your body. The best form of supplementation is a varied and nutritious diet. I can't stress that enough. The most common form of supplementation is actually a tablet. You may have heard of something called executive stress formula or B complex. These are tablets that you can take that have a whole host of B vitamins. They're a short-term solution. If you think you're B vitamin deficient, you can take a multivitamin like an executive stress formula. However, we do need to get to the root of the cause, and a better diet is the way to go. Another way that you can take B vitamins is actually through something that's called nutritional yeast or nutritional yeast flakes. Now, the health food shops generally have these, and they are exactly what they say they are. They're yeast flakes, and they have a whole lot of B vitamins in them, including vitamin B12, which is important for vegans to consider. And you can just apply it to your food. It kind of tastes a bit like Parmesan cheese. That's the best way I can describe it. You can sprinkle it on your roast vegetables, you can stir it through your soups, you can stir it through your casseroles. So yeast flakes are another way of getting your B vitamins. Okay, so that concludes my B vitamin talk. I hope I haven't overwhelmed you with too much information. Remembering we're going to come back another time and talk about folate and B12, because that's a big topic. Next time, it has been requested that I talk about magnesium, the mineral magnesium, so I'm going to talk about that in my next video. Hopefully it won't be such a big gap between them. Hopefully I get over some of this procrastination and perfectionism that I've got going on, but only time will tell. See you then!